Today I'm going to talk about how a woman feels when she sees you've moved on peacefully. You see, peace is powerful. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, and it doesn't need to prove anything. When a man truly heals, when he stops reacting, stops chasing, and chooses to walk away with calmness, that silence speaks volumes. Because nothing affects a person more than realizing you no longer carry the weight of what they once did to you. When she sees you've moved on, not in anger, not in revenge, but in peace, it shakes something deep inside her. Peace tells a story. It says, I've accepted what happened, I've learned from it, and I no longer need to hold on. And that's when your energy changes, your presence changes, and so does the way she feels when she looks at you. The moment you stop reacting, everything changes. The power of emotional detachment. See, most people lose their power the second they start over-explaining, defending, or chasing closure. But when you choose silence over reaction, peace over chaos, you take back control. Emotional detachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring differently. It's about valuing your inner peace more than your need to prove something. When you no longer need her validation, when you stop trying to show that you're fine, that's when you actually become fine. Detachment is misunderstood. People think it's coldness or indifference, but it's actually maturity. It's that deep understanding that not every emotion deserves an audience and not every loss needs to be mourned forever. When you detach, you don't suppress your feelings. You just stop feeding them with attention. You stop scrolling through her pictures, stop decoding her silence. Stop imagining what she's thinking. You bring the focus back to yourself. You start investing that energy into your purpose, your peace, your growth. That's when a powerful shift happens, because when you emotionally detach, your energy becomes lighter, calmer, more grounded. And women notice that. They feel that suddenly. The man who once reacted to everything now responds to nothing. The man who once chased peace from others has found it within himself. And that's unsettling for her. Not because you're trying to make her feel that way, but because genuine peace can't be faked. So when she sees that you've moved on, reflection versus revenge, that your emotions no longer orbit around her, it's not your silence that hurts. It's the realization that she no longer has access to the version of you she once knew. When you finally choose peace over proving a point, everything starts to align differently. You stop arguing with the past and start aligning with your future. You see, when someone hurts you, your first instinct is to react, to show them what they lost, to make them regret it. But the truth is, revenge is loud and short-lived, while reflection is silent and everlasting. When you move on with peace, you become a mirror. You no longer fight to be understood. You simply become so calm that your energy speaks for itself. And that silence is powerful. It doesn't scream. It doesn't beg. It just reflects. She sees a man who no longer seeks validation, no longer tries to fix what broke. And that unsettles her, because while she might expect anger, bitterness, or even sadness, what she faces instead is calm acceptance. And in that calmness, she starts to see her own reflection. The part of her that maybe didn't appreciate you, that took your emotions for granted, that assumed you'd always be there. Your peace becomes her teacher. Every time she sees you happy, grounded, or just unbothered, it reminds her that she wasn't the reason you became this version of yourself. You were. You took the pain, and instead of reacting, you rebuilt. You didn't destroy yourself trying to prove your worth. You found it. So, no revenge, no bitterness, no look at me now, just peace. Because nothing confuses someone more than realizing you've healed from what the energy shift they thought would break you. And that quiet strength, that reflection becomes your loudest comeback. Energy never lies. You can fake smiles. You can post happy pictures. You can even act like you've moved on. But energy always reveals the truth. When you genuinely let go, something within you shifts. You stop being reactive. You stop chasing. And suddenly your presence feels lighter. There's no tension, no emotional weight, just quiet confidence. And that shift doesn't need to be announced. People can feel it, especially her. A woman can sense energy more than words. She knows when you're pretending to be okay and when you've actually found peace. The version of you that once sought answers, once needed her to see your worth, is gone. Now, you're not seeking closure. You are closure. Your focus isn't on what she's doing anymore. It's on who you're becoming. That shift in attention from her to you changes everything. She feels that distance, not the kind created by silence, but the kind created by growth. She feels the difference between being ignored and being outgrown. And that difference hits differently because when you've moved on with peace, your energy carries stability, not chaos. It's calm, it's certain, and it no longer revolves around her presence or absence. You see, energy is magnetic. When yours becomes peaceful, people who once drained you start to feel uncomfortable. And those who match your vibration start to appear. That's the beauty of genuine detachment. You stop attracting what once hurt you. So when she sees you now smiling, centered and unbothered, she doesn't see the man who lost her. She healing as the ultimate comeback sees the man who found himself. And that realization changes everything. Healing is the quietest and strongest form of revenge. It's not about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving to yourself that pain can refine you, not define you. When you start healing, you stop needing closure from others because you start creating it within yourself. You stop replaying the past and start reprogramming your mindset. Healing isn't glamorous. It's lonely, it's uncomfortable, and sometimes it's painfully slow. But every time you choose to grow instead of react, you take your power back. You start to see things differently. What once hurt you now teaches you. What once broke you now builds you. And that's when the transformation happens. You no longer seek attention. You seek peace. You no longer chase love. You embody it. You no longer depend on validation. You create your own sense of worth. Healing makes you magnetic. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you radiate something rare in this world. Emotional maturity. And when she sees that version of you, the one who didn't lose himself trying to win her back, it hits differently. Because deep down, everyone expects you to fall apart. Everyone expects you to become bitter or numb. But instead, you become better. You evolve. You elevate. You rise. The truth is, healing isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It's in the way you walk, the way you speak, the calmness in your eyes. It's in the fact redefining love and self-worth that you no longer need to explain your peace. And that kind of growth doesn't just make you stronger. It makes you unforgettable. Moving on peacefully isn't about pretending you never cared. It's about caring enough to let go. It's about understanding that love doesn't always mean holding on. Sometimes it means walking away with grace. When you redefine what love means to you, you realize it's not about attachment. It's about alignment. It's not about who stays the longest. It's about who helps you grow, even if their role was temporary. You begin to see that your worth isn't tied to someone's presence in your life. It's reflected in how you handle their absence. Because peace doesn't come from having everything figured out. It comes from trusting that what's meant for you will never require you to lose yourself. You stop romanticizing potential and start valuing reality. You stop chasing what's unavailable and start nurturing what's within. That's the real shift from needing love to becoming love. And when she sees that,